today, I'm interviewing international wrestling star, LJ Cleary. You know, I've interviewed you before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot I need to get to, because when I interviewed you before, you weren't starting out, but you were wrestling all across Ireland, and now you're wrestling in Japan and everywhere. So thanks so much for coming on again.
No worries. Happy to be on.
So there's a lot to get to here. So tell us, why did you first get into Japan for Pro Wrestling Noah?
Yeah, I got scouted by somebody that worked at Pro Wrestling Noah because of everything I was doing around Europe. You know, like you said, I was wrestling all over Ireland, all over Europe. I built up my profile pretty well, to the point where I kind of felt like I'd done really everything in Ireland, or at least I kind of needed to leave for a bit of time, and then the time lined up perfectly. They asked me to come over, and that's how I got there.
You done so incredible there. What do you think's your favourite match there?
That I've had? I got to wrestle Naomichi Marufuji in a singles match last July, and it was a small show, but getting to like wrestle him one-on-one as someone who doesn't have many one-on-one matches was pretty incredible. I also got to do 10 Korakuen Halls, which for anyone watching is a very famous venue in Japan, so any match there was amazing.
Yeah, and it's incredible that you've been able to do this, and you completely deserve it as well.
Thank you.
And then, so when you went back to Japan, what's been your favourite moment or memory that you've been able to share?
I honestly say, like, I was in a faction called the Good Looking Guys, and and it was myself, Anthony Green, Jack Morris, Jake Lee, Yohei, and Tadasuke. But I definitely formed like a pretty special bond with Anthony Green and Jack Morris. Like, when you're over there in it basically it's a different world, not even just a different country. You grow very close to the people you're around, so I would say just in general, becoming as close as I did with them was the best thing about being there.
I'm quite interested in like the lifestyle in Japan, so what was the most strangest thing you had to get adjusted to in Japan?
Oh, that's interesting. What did I have to get adjusted to? Just the language. Like everything, because it's not like, you go to a lot of European countries and like it'll have their language but English. This is like, no, it's all Japanese, unless you're in some shops in the city centre, so trying to get adjusted to reading the trains and stuff was pretty difficult.
That must have been
it was a nightmare, yeah.
And then what's one of the most strangest things in Japan that like maybe someone here would be shocked at?
They like eating like the food. Like, I'm a picky eater, but like the meat and the food over there, beef especially, is some of the best food I've ever had. I also at one point ate, like, it wasn't live, but it was this like bit of squid where you touch it and like the nerves just start moving. So like they'll eat a lot of stuff like that. Not for me, but so that's a big shock for me.
You had to try it over there, I suppose.
Huh?
You had to try it.
You have to try it. Yeah.
And what's been your favorite memory in all of like traveling and wrestling?
In my whole career, my favorite memory is probably when I wrestled Matt Cardona at the ODT 8-year anniversary. October 29th, 2022. That's on YouTube. That's my favorite match I've ever had.
And I've seen that, and I saw your promo for it. It was so cool seeing, you'd idolised Matt Cardona, and you showed you loads of photos of you and him.
Yeah, photos of me and him, me catching his t-shirt.
Oh, it's so cool, and then you catching his t-shirt and everything. Yeah. So, what was it like wrestling one of your childhood heroes?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I've been very fortunate to have had the chance to do that with a lot of big names. Pac and Nick Nemeth. And Nick Nemeth was a pretty special one as well. Obviously, he was formerly known as Dolph Ziggler. But the Cardona one was special because, like my family were at the show and it was the big, OTT stadium show, 2,200 people. And that to me, I think it's taken a long time till that match gets topped, but I'm okay with that for a while.
And from all the people that you've faced, and being able to be in the ring with, you mentioned they're like Nick Nemeth and people that you've met as well. And you said they're some of their childhood heroes. So, what's been the best piece of advice that you've taken from these guys?
From Matt Cardona's big piece of advice that he gives to everyone is just don't quit. Okay, and it's pretty standard, but he's like, the second you quit, it's all over. As close as you might be to something, or as far as you might feel, but once you quit, you're nowhere. So I think that was the best advice.
He's like an example of that, because when he was Zack Ryder and he got released, most wrestlers would just travel around the place, but they wouldn't like rebuild themselves. He completely rebuilt himself and is now like recognized as an indie god.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah.
And then and I want to thank you for going on here, because I know you want to get this done quickly. But
that's no problem.
When you're in WWE, I know there was a segment I was watching it. I was watching Ever Valkyria. Was it Becky Lynch?
Becky, yeah.
And you were standing in the crowd, and I actually screamed and said, "That's LJ Cleary." So how'd that all come about that you were going to be on WWE TV?
I mean, it was just a case of kind of the right place, right time. I was there. I was supporting my fiance, and then Becky came up, started having a go at me, and it was just right place, right time.
And will we see you in WWE one day?
I mean, that's always the goal, I did just I had a WWE tryout 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty publicised that it's out there. And no matter what happens, we'll see. But WWE will always be the ultimate goal for me. But I'm still only 26 and I'm 12 years in. I have a lot of time, and I'm really enjoying myself right now too.
What's it like backstage at the Triage in WWE?
It was great. It was an amazing experience. I got to be there with the Bull CBL, who's one of my best friends, someone who I've trained. So being there with him was amazing.
And you being there, I know you got to be there with your friends, but I'm sure you met a lot of people, in the WWE Triage.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to name drop. Don't be too modest. Name drop these people.
Again, it's publicly out there. There's a photo of John Cena giving us all advice, and John Cena's my childhood hero.
Incredible.
He's my real childhood hero. And to get advice from him and be able to have a conversation with him was surreal.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
and even meeting John Cena is incredible.
Yeah.
And then what's next for LJ Cleary?
I'm in Europe for this month, so I'm around Ireland, I'm around France, I'm popping here and there, and then I go back to the States, and then that's the short term. The long term, I don't know. We will see.
And what could have seen the new Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion there? It could have went any other way.
We could have. I'm already a former 2-time Irish Junior Heavyweight Champion. I'm also the youngest ever, and like I said to many people, I wrestled my best friend Michael May, so to lose to anybody, it's okay that it's him. It's the only person I'll accept it.
Thanks so much for coming on.
No worries.
And I've got one last question.
Okay.
So, what advice would you give to a young trainee wrestler?
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I think there's a lot of culture of you can sit down, you shut up, and yes, you should be respectful. But if you ever really want to know something, I think it's okay to ask. And then, kind of similar to the Matt Cardona advice he gave me, it's you just have to commit if you want to just do it as a hobby, that's completely fine, but I can only speak as someone who ever wanted to chase it as a career, and in order to do that, I had to put absolutely everything into it. You have to become obsessed. Every decision you make, every meal you eat, every hour of sleep you have, all needs to go towards, and if this is what you really want to do, if it is your passion, your dream, then you will do that, and it won't be hard to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks so much, LJ.
No worries.
Yay! 1, 2. LJ, 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 LJ.
This is it, isn't it? Yeah. You want to be the champion?